Thank you for watching Sunday Kickoff presented by Grand Lighthouse Coffee. Make sure you go to grandlighthousecoffee.com and use promo code EastWest to get 10% off your purchase. And also Grand Leyenda Tequila. For more information on the best organic tequila around, make sure you go to grandleyenda.com, the official tequila of the East West Football Network. Good morning, everyone.
Good
How's everyone
morning.
doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
Championship
morning,
Sunday.
guys.
We only got 2 more Sundays to go. You guys ready? Championship Sunday's here.
Flew by.
Hey man, what an awesome job by the NFL to like make this season happen, right? Because there are some times where we're like, is the season gonna shut down? Are we gonna have football? And look at where we're at now.
Yeah, I remember episodes back when we were talking about that, even when we were still having Coach on the show,
Yeah,
and just him saying, the league should shut down for a bit, should
yeah.
take some time. But we made it to February, close to February, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I remember having them random Tuesday and Wednesday games, football every day.
Hey, I kind of miss those. I'm not
do
gonna lie.
too, actually. Having football every day was something different that I liked.
Yeah, me too.
All right, we'll dive into the games here in a second, but first there was some news that came out of the NFL yesterday. So it looks like Matthew Stafford's on his way out of Detroit. Stafford told the team he wants to be traded, and the Lions plan to trade him, according to Tom Pelissero of NFL.com. Let me get your guys' thoughts on this, and where do you think Matt Stafford will end up? Start out with Isaac.
Well, I think we all expected this eventually. He's done what he could for that organization. It's just ultimately time to move on. You can't really blame the guy for wanting out this late in his career. This isn't really a team that I think will make the move, but I think could, and I think he would fit nicely as the Indianapolis Colts. We've heard a lot about the Colts ever since Philip Rivers retired. Frank Reich is obviously a very quarterback-centric type of coach, so I think he would fit in very well there. Indianapolis is in a win-now situation. They have a great defense, so my question is, why not? Why not the Colts?
Jerry.
Oh man, I mean, this is insane. I mean, aside from the Deshaun Watson news, I mean, now this is actually, I'm pretty sure the entire, everybody from that area that follows Detroit, Michigan. I'm pretty sure that this is actually like a good kind of refresher, right? Like, we get to kind of restart, and it's kind of cool, right? When uh a team and a player that have been together for so long are able to kind of just mutually just talk and say, hey, you know what? I think it's time. So wherever he goes, they're gonna get that Matt Stafford, strong arm, and he's gonna be the gunslinger that they need them to be. Honestly, I've heard so many teams I don't even know where to start. So I'll leave it at that.
SK.
Yeah, not shocked at all. I mean, he's had great individual success, but he hasn't really had great team success. And I feel like going with the coach who has a ready-made offense, who has weapons on the outside, that has a strong defense, and they just need a quarterback just to put it together. We saw when they had a solid, serviceable, top-flight quarterback in Andrew Luck. They got to the AFC Championship game, so they had the pieces there for Luck. So now Matt Stafford going on the back end of his prime, I feel like this is the best time for him to finally shake things up, take his game to the next level, and prove that he's more than just stats and an individual, and that he can actually lead a team. I don't know about to the Super Bowl, but still just lead a team to consistent success and playoff appearances before he hangs up his jersey overall.
Walter.
All right. Well, I think for people who aren't that close to this situation, they have this idea that fans in Detroit, hate Matthew Stafford. They blame him for everything. They want him gone. This was nothing more than a business decision that probably should have been made 2 years ago. I think for everybody who knows, when Stafford signed that extension for 135, 92 million guaranteed back in 2017, we all knew that this day was eventually coming. And if you look at it just financially, this past season, Stafford was paid $7.2 million base salary. That goes up significantly next year and for the 2022 season. For next season, if they keep him on the roster, they owe him $22 million in base salary for the next 2 years each. And they also owe him $20 million worth of roster bonuses, which I think is a key note to keep in mind, because that's a huge reason why he probably will be gone before March 5th. Because if he's on the roster by March 5th, they have to pay him that $10 million roster bonus. So therefore, anybody who's looking to trade for Stafford, you got to pay him a $9.5 million base next year, $12.5 million for 2022, and also $20 million worth of signing bonuses, which equal out to $20 million cap hit for 2021 and a $23 million cap hit for 2022. So the only teams that I can see making that type of decision for him would be the Colts, maybe the Patriots, even though I really don't feel the Patriots are just a quarterback away from winning. I think they still have a lot of other issues on that team. But the Colts do make the most sense, given the fact that Phillip Rivers has decided to retire. Jacoby Brissett, he's set to be an unrestricted free agent, and Jacob Eason is pretty much the only quarterback that they have under contract. So he makes the most sense. I know we were kind of discussing in the pregame show about San Francisco and maybe some other teams in the NFC. From what I've heard so far, the Lions have zero interest in trading him to the NFC. And if they do trade him to an NFC team, they're going to tax the hell out of him. So AFC teams pretty much get pretty much a discount. So if Frisco wants them or if anybody else in the NFC wants them, they're going to have to come up off of those picks.
So Nia.
I mean, well, first things first, I'm trying to get a $10 million bonus. So what's up? It's a
Hey,
nice team out here.
you're on your way. ESPN, come on.
We on the way. We're trying to get up there, trying to get up there. But I think Walt hit it on the head. I mean, of course, that's his team, Detroit running true and true. But at the end of the day, I think it's unfortunate to see how Stafford's process is gone, but it's not all his fault. Like you said, Walt, that this being a business decision, it's also with the way that he's been having to play through the season, and the structure, that he's been in. But also you can't go 12 seasons without a playoff win. And you're 33, starting to get up there in the age caliber of the sport. And he's still doing well in terms of completing over a little over 60% of his passes, but still, I don't think that this is all his fault. And I can see him moving to the Colts being a nice change of scenery, having a different type of system to navigate through. But we already know from that video earlier this week that Coach Campbell is going straight to business. He's not playing any games. But I think that there are more things to navigate here for this Detroit team than just a quarterback. However, having a fresh start, it looks like it's the best decision to make business-wise, even though Stafford, I think, is giving everything that he could to the team at the time.
Yeah, I think it's best for both parties to actually part ways and, both of them have a fresh new start. Obviously, Detroit's going to be rebuilding. Matt Stafford didn't want to, stick around for another rebuild. I did talk to a source close to the Niners yesterday, and he told me that they were going to try to do everything in their power to get Matthew Stafford in San Francisco. So we will see what happens with that.
Great. Go ahead. Give up all the picks. I want all the picks.
Well, I have a question for you. You're from that area, so you obviously listen to all that. So does this mean that the Lions are all in and going after a quarterback in the offseason, especially during maybe the draft?
That's true.
No,
They are projected to have a first round draft pick.
Yeah.
Well, we're picking 7th right now. Some of the talk right now is maybe for the Colts, if the Colts are willing to give up the 21st pick and maybe the 54th pick, that's pretty much where the discussions would start.
But I'm saying, does that mean that they would that would give them the ammo to get up to ahead of the Falcons, or do you think somebody like Justin Fields would fall to them in their laps?
For me, in this particular draft, I would probably either stay put or trade back. I'm not trading up, given the fact that this team has so many holes.
Okay.
We're going into the offseason. We could have no wide receivers under contract. We could have no safeties on the contract, honestly. Our linebacking core is trash, has been trash for decades. We can't get any pressure with our front four. They're discussing probably trading Trey Flowers as well. So this team needs a lot of picks. I'm not trading up for Justin Fields. I'm not trading up for Zach Wilson either. I would probably, if I can't trade back, I would stay at 7 and take the best available player. And combine that with the picks of whatever capital they can get in the trade for Stafford and continue to build this roster until next season. But I wouldn't reach at all. You can easily find a bridge quarterback to get you through the next season, maybe the next two. So
How many bridges have the Detroit Lions have?
I think they burned them
hey,
already.
wait a
They
minute
burned
now. We haven't had one single bridge quarterback since John Kitna. Kitna was the last bridge quarterback we had.
I'm just messing with.
Since then, we've just had mediocrity for 12 years.
Right. Wall said, wait, hold on.
Don't talk about my team.
He was like,
Stafford's better than the bridge now. He's good. He's good.
No, he is.
I
think that I've always felt that there's something off with him with his instincts. And I've felt that way even since he was at Georgia. He's too hot and cold. He's sort of like a starting pitcher in baseball. He's too hot and cold, and on any given Sunday, you don't know what Stafford you're going to get and how much of it you're going to get for what quarters you're going to get it for. So,
hey man, but Justin Fields is he's like the perfect Lions quarterback. I mean, there's just something about his personality, his blue collar.
We don't know that, Jerry. We never had any.
He has that blue.
We don't know who the perfect Lion quarterback is.
Man, he's that blue collar mentality. He takes it to work. Hey, man, he's gonna outwork everybody else. Hey, he's done that in college.
I'm gonna tell all of you guys this right now. I'm gonna tell you all of this right now. People here in Detroit honestly don't give a damn. That's more of like the national media of how they view us, hardworking, blue collar. All of our teams have to be tough. We just want to win. We don't want to win. We just want to win. We don't care about the team being tough. We don't care about the team being bad guys. We don't care about the team being a team full of choir boys. Whatever the mixture is, as long as we win, that's it.
Well, Dan Campbell's worried about you guys being tough, talking about taking out kneecaps.
I know. Hey, I told my brother yesterday, I don't care. If he wins, if Dan Campbell wins, he can do whatever he wants. Belichick has a reputation for being one of the biggest jerks in the league. No one would care. No one cares because he wins.
All right.
We'll see how it goes with Anthony Lynn as the OC too.
Yep. All right. Definitely interesting situation in Detroit.
Very.
All right. Championship Sunday is here. So let's check in with Sania Blue with our injury and COVID update.
Yes. So for this injury report, first of all, it's brought to you by Lambs of God Design. So make sure you guys go to lambsofgod.faith and use that promo code EastWest to get 10% off your order. Have some really awesome stuff out right now. But believe it or not, guys, there are no current COVID issues interfering with these games as of right now. So I think just a round of applause for that. Hats off to the NFL. Hats off to the players and players' families for really trying to navigate through that with them. Because we all know that's been really tough this season to do that. Now, to go to Green Bay and the Bucs, Antonio Brown, wide receiver, he's going to be out for this game, as well as Winfield, the safety, he's questionable. Now, for the Packers, they need some help on defense to try to help, make sure that Tampa Bay's offense isn't explosive during this game. They're missing a linebacker and two corners who are on injury reserve. So all three of those players are on injury reserve. You have a questionable cornerback in Kevin King. We'll see if he's playing. But also Kingsley Kiki, he's out in terms of the defensive tackle. So they're definitely going to need help on the defensive side of the ball. Now, that's a pretty short and brief. I haven't had a pretty short and brief injury update for a team in all season. But moving on to the Bills and the Chiefs game. Now, Patrick Mahomes, of course, has been the huge topic of conversation all week, trying to figure out, is he off protocol? Is he going to play? Well, yes, he's out of protocol. We know that he's able to play. He's looking overall good based on reports, but he does have turf toe. And we saw him struggle a little bit last week with that. However, Andy Reid knows this. We know who Andy Reid is in terms of a coach and how he builds his offense. And I think that he's preparing his offensive line to protect Patrick Mahomes. We may not see so much running from him as we may usually would predict in terms of him being able to get outside that pocket and really make some plays. So it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic works, how it plays out in this game, especially against Buffalo's defense. But for running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's looking hopeful. He had that ankle and hip injury we saw a few weeks ago. That was devastating to watch. So for him to possibly being able to come into this game, especially after what that injury looked like, that's pretty promising. However, it's definitely going to be a game time sort of situation. Another game time call and decision is going to be Sammy Watkins at wide receiver. His calf injury, we already know he's been dealing with injuries throughout the whole season, in terms of questionable, being ins and outs. Now, Le'Veon Bell is not expected to play in this game. He has that knee injury. As of right now, with the latest reports, he's not expected to play. So we'll see if he actually does hit the field. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. I would be surprised if he does. Rashad Fenton, the cornerback, is also questionable, and Willie Gay, the linebacker, is officially out for today's game. And for the Bills, they're still looking okay, pretty healthy on the overall end. Gabriel Davis, their wide receiver, is questionable, and Vernon Butler, their defensive tackle, is also questionable. So no definite outs for the Bills. But in terms of overall, pretty proud of all four of these teams to get to this place without having to deal with that COVID situation and everything like that. So this is going to be a true matchup. I think one of the better matchups we've had in the past decade in terms of championship games.
Yeah, and I think, all four teams know what's at stake, and that's why they're taking it so seriously and watching COVID-19. So thank you, Sunil, for that update.
Real quick, just on that Patrick Mahomes, I think they're really watering down that turf toe because
I think they are too.
Because from what I heard
Yeah.
on the report this morning was he's gonna see a specialist, and I don't know if you've ever seen Deion Sanders' toes. I mean, they are horrific. He suffered from turf toe pretty much the latter part of his career. So turf toe's no joke. So I mean, he's gonna be probably shotted up like crazy. They're probably gonna make sure that cortisone is ready for him to play this game. But I mean, shoot, man, turf toe is no joke.
It's definitely no joke, and I know that they're taking it super seriously. Ultimately, having turf toe and dealing with concussion, you're trying to all right, which one can we hopefully escape in this situation? But I think fortunately for him, he has the offense to help support him to where he doesn't need to pull like a Lamar Jackson where he's running on every single play. So hopefully for Kansas City's sake, they'll be able to work this out at least to get through the rest of the season. You got 2 more games if you get to that next game. So,
all right, let's pick today's games. Let's start off with the early game. Tampa Bay at Green Bay. Let's check in with Isaac with our spreads for today's games.
What's up, Isaac? What's up?
So the Packers are favored by 3 as of right now. The over-under is 53 total points. Tampa Bay has won a team record 7 straight road games. Rodgers is 1-3 in NFC Championship games in his career, and Brady is 32-11 in his playoff career, which is the most wins out of any quarterback of all time in the playoffs.
All right, Jerry, who you got?
Man, I think on this one, I give okay. Number one, give me Tampa Bay. A couple things. There's a couple X factors out there. I think Devin White, the linebacker, man, he's gonna play. He's gonna play underneath, and those two corners that they have. The entire coverage, they're all playing lights out right now when they needed to play lights out. And Tom Brady's gonna not make the mistakes. And I just think that when it comes to it, man, how blessed are we to have this kind of game to watch, right? Like Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers to go into the Super Bowl. But give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and give me the spread and give me the +3.
SK.
We've already talked about this on Friday night football talk. It's very imperative for the legacy of Aaron Rodgers to get this win. As was just stated, he's 1-3 in NFC Championship games to set himself apart from Drew Brees and other quarterbacks to just have one Super Bowl. I feel like he definitely has to get that second tier, especially if he wants to be considered one of the GOATs. He can put himself up there with Peyton Manning with multiple Super Bowls. Certainly not going to catch Brady. but just his talent warrants. I feel like his talent warrants more than one Super Bowl, more than 1-3 in the NFC Championship game. And just looking at this team and structure, that Tampa Bay defense certainly is one of the best. But I feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to throw some magic out there today, and I'm going with 31-27. Packers going to the Super Bowl.
All right, Walter, who you got?
Yeah, I agree with SK. I think this game is huge for Aaron. And I'm a big Aaron Rodgers guy. He's on my Mount Rushmore for quarterbacks of all time. But he has to really get this second Super Bowl to really separate himself from everyone else. Even though pretty much I think I have him ranked ahead of Drew Brees, guys like Drew Brees, Marino and such. But for him to really reach that next pinnacle, he needs that second Super Bowl. And also, I think for today's game, I'm taking Green Bay, and I'm taking the under. But what's really different to me about this game is that when you go back and you look at the regular season matchup, those Green Bay Packers receivers really struggled getting off the line against those big physical Tampa corners. And Green Bay was terrible as far as stopping the blitz. Aaron Rodgers was 3 of 12 for 2 picks against the blitz that day. So I'm not sure if Green Bay, and they had Bakhtiari that day, who they don't have today. So I'm not sure if Green Bay really can fix anything offensive line wise to really stop Tampa. Tampa has too many playmakers all over that defense. And I think a game that's this close is going to come down to who makes those big plays and who doesn't make those big plays. So I'm going to go ahead with Green Bay, and I'm going to take the under, and I'm going to take the -3.
Sania.
Yeah, first of all, just flat out, I'm gonna take the under. Now see, my brain kind of wants me to go with the Bucs. My gut wants me to go with the Packers, and this is a very conflicting situation for me right now. And I mean to agree completely with what SK and Walt have already said. And you guys already know what team is my home team. So really, I shouldn't be rooting for the Packers in this situation. For those who don't know, I am a Bears fan, as frustrating as it could be. Isaac, you know the struggle. But
Bear down.
but I'm gonna go for the Packers. And part of that too is Aaron Rodgers was wiped clean last time the Bucs and the Packers met. Naturally, the Packers defense is gonna have to step up in a particular way, especially with all the injuries that I talked about with the corners. But at the end of the day, I think that Rodgers knows how important this game is. Tom Brady knows how important this game is, but Rodgers knows how important this game is and what he wants to do for his legacy, but also what he wants to do for this team. It's the first time that he's able to really have a excellent chance at winning the NFC and home turf. And somebody to be able to do that and to have that, he was sitting on the bench a few weeks ago where he was just like, man, or I think it was last week, or he's like, man, we really gotta get one of these at home. So I think there's a lot riding for his legacy, his career, his future, and he wants to bring it. Plus, you got 2 of the best quarterbacks who know how to play in snow back to back, going back and forth in this game. So it already is snowing in Green Bay. I'm not even going to go crazy deep into the numbers and logistics, SK, while all you guys have already talked about that. But I'm going to go with my gut here and go with the Packers.
I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. I think, obviously, Aaron Rodgers wants to win this game, but I think Tom wants to win it more because he wants to prove to the Patriots, like, hey, look, it wasn't me that was, wrong with the situation in New England. It was you guys. So
do you
also
think that he hasn't proved that already, though?
I don't think
that already?
I don't think he's satisfied. I think he would be satisfied holding another Lombardi trophy. Also,
Very
too, I
true.
think Vita Vea coming back for that Tampa defense is going to be crucial for them as well. And I don't think enough talk has happened this week about that Buccaneers defense. So I like Tampa and give me the over. All right, so let's check in now with Isaac for the Bills at Chiefs.
Well, hold on. I didn't give my analysis of why I think the Packers are going to win.
I'm sorry, Isaac. How did I skip you?
That's okay. I just think this Packers team is a lot different from that Week 6 matchup. They have a better defense. They've been a lot better the last few weeks. They're more balanced on offense. They've had 3 different leading receivers the past 3 weeks. And the combination of A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams running the ball is very lethal right now. And it's exciting to watch, and it's exciting to see them all grow as the season goes on. I think Green Bay's line will handle them just the way they did in that Rams game. I mean, that Rams team is what I think was the best defense in the league this season. And Green Bay's offensive line, they played outstanding in that game. They had 188 rushing yards, which is the most rushing yards in a playoff game in the Aaron Rodgers era. So I think it's just going to be too much for the Buccaneers to handle. I actually have the over, and I have the Packers covering. I think they're going to win 31-24.
Wow. I will tell you this: if the Packers get in, and with the next team with the Bills, they're not winning the Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now.
Buffalo?
Yeah, Buffalo gets in, and it's the Packers. Buffalo's gonna win the Super Bowl.
Oh man, Jerry making predictions.
Oh, that's going to be an interesting conversation next week.
I'm telling you right now.
All right, Isaac. Bills at Chiefs. What's the line looking like?
The Chiefs are favored by 3 points in this one. Over-unders at 54.5 points. The Bills are 9-1 against the spread in their last 10 games, and 64% of America has picked the Bills to win today's game.
Wow.
Well, let's start off with you, Isaac.
Yeah.
That way I don't skip you this time.
All right, yeah. So Kansas City, shockingly, is actually ranked 26 in red zone offense since week 12. And Buffalo has the number 1 red zone defense since week 12. We saw it last week. They had that pick six go for 101 yards for the touchdown. We saw it with Kansas City settling for field goals. I don't know what's going on with Harrison Butker. He missed a field goal and an extra point last week, which is uncharacteristic by him. I'm picking the under on this one, just strictly based off of the red zone percentages that I just said. And the last time these two played, they combined for 43 points. It was 26-17. The Chiefs won. Kansas City in that game rushed for 245 yards, while Buffalo rushed for just 84. I like this Buffalo Bills team. I know Jerry loves them. I just don't think they can win the huge games being so one-dimensional. We saw it last week. They only had 3 rushes in the first half. 2 were by Josh Allen, 1 by Singletary. I don't see them winning games like that. They did address the running game in the second half, which was nice to see. And Sania talked about how Clyde Edwards-Helaire is hopeful for this game. I think if he plays, it's going to be a huge X factor for that Chiefs offense, especially with Mahomes lacking the mobility with that turf toe right now. So I think they're going to rely on the running game. I have the Chiefs winning because I think they have the better offense, the better running game, and the better defense. I'm picking them to win by 7, 27-20. I think it's going to be a close game, though.
Jerry.
Well, first and foremost, right, I want to give a shout out to my family. They had heard me on the air previously, getting on this Bills Mafia bandwagon. And yeah.
Show him the shirt.
They
Show
sent
him.
me the shirt. So Bills Mafia, give me Bills Mafia today, and give me it. Let's see. We'll go under, and but give me Bills Mafia. What was it? Plus what you say? Plus what?
3.
Plus 3.
3. Okay, give me the Bills. But let me put a couple things out there. Why? I love Patrick Mahomes' game. I really do. I mean, I think that he's the most talented quarterback in the entire league right now. But at the same token, Josh Allen can go toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes. Whatever throw Patrick Mahomes can do, Josh Allen can make that same. Well, maybe not the no look pass.
The no look.
Yeah. Aside from that, you're talking about Josh Allen, who can literally throw it from one end of the actual field to the other, and it doesn't matter with his accuracy anymore because he has a wide receiver in Stephon Diggs. So when you look at it, you're looking at 2 quarterbacks. Whatever Patrick Mahomes can do, Josh Allen has that same capability and firepower with his wide receiver core to actually do it. And when he needs to, he'll use his legs. Now, the actual X factor in this game, for this Bills game, it's going to be Tremont Edmonds. That guy will shut down your run immediately. And what do you think the Bills know? The Bills are a very smart team. They already know that they're going to try to rush the game. They're going to try to implement the rush as much as possible to help take some of the pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. So there, I said my statement.
All right, SK, who you got today?
Just like I said Friday, I'm going with Chiefs. I just feel like the Chiefs is more multi-dimensional than the Bills. They can play within their offense. They can play outside of their offense.
We apologize. Technical difficulties. We'll get back to SK here in a minute, but I want to say he said the Chiefs.
Bills are digs or bust. Chiefs have too much offensive firepower. Chiefs by 10. I like the way he was able to
That's
give it.
rational. That's actually pretty rational.
It is. I mean, I like I said, I like the Chiefs. I like Patrick Mahomes, but I'm just saying this is not the game you want to have all these injuries piled up on you.
All right, Walter.
Okay, so my analysis is this.
Okay.
What difference is Leslie Frazier really going to do? You know, in this particular matchup with that Chiefs team, because if you look at the first matchup, they decided to not touch Mahomes. We're just going to drop people back in the coverage, and we're not going to blitz. They didn't blitz Mahomes, period, once that first game, and the Chiefs turned it in over 200 yards rushing. So, do they decide to do something completely different this time and say, well, you know what? We tried to hold off on Mahomes. We decided to not blitz, and they just paper cut us to death in the passing game and the run game. So do we decide this time to just blitz his head off, considering the fact that he can't move? So that could be something they decide to do, given the fact that I wouldn't do it. I would probably still fade back and probably pretty much zone them, given the fact that Mahomes is best in the league against the blitz, quarterback percentage-wise. So I'm taking the Chiefs. I agree pretty much with everybody else. I think it's too much firepower. I think too much experience in the coaching staff. Mahomes has been there before. Reed has been there. Bieniemy's been there before. That team has been through the dirt with each other. And we saw a lot of evidence of that last week. We saw the confidence Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy had in Chad Henne, the confidence they had in the offensive line, the confidence they had in each other to actually pull that off. So I'm running with the Chiefs this year. I'm running with the Chiefs this Sunday. I think Buffalo. I think this moment is just going to be a little too big for Josh Allen. Buffalo.
Well, it sounds like you already gave your Super Bowl pick.
Oh no! Listen, we got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks to talk about this.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Sania,
I want to hear
what you got?
Tell me you're on my. Tell me you are on my side.
Okay, look, Jerry. Look.
It's
Let me
okay.
let you know. I mean, you guys know I love rooting for the underdog.
Yeah.
And it's this situation, it would naturally be Josh Allen and the Bills. Walt brought out some great points. One, the Chiefs really haven't gone through the mud together, understanding what it takes to get here, understanding what it takes to be a championship Super Bowl team. And I think that they're going to be prepared for that. I think, all right, look, I mean, because we got to look about people I think may expect this to be a little bit more of a shootout between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. And I think it comes down to ultimately defenses. That's what I'm going to say is this game is going to come down to, because one, of course, we know Patrick Mahomes is not the best in 100%. And so if the Bills defense can capitalize on that, I think they can walk away with this game very well. And on offense, you got Josh Allen, you got Stephon Diggs. They both need to have an exceptional game. They have not been in this situation. They have to do better and correct the mistakes that they did last week. You can't have any sort of misups where you were this close, with the Colts lost the game for themselves, but the Colts also had an opportunity to win that game. You can't do that in this matchup between the Bills and the Chiefs. You don't have that affordability. So, I mean, passing yards allowed, the Chiefs have 204 passing yards allowed. Bills are sitting at 265.5. They're going to need to make sure that these defenses are on top of their A game. And if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be back, then the Bills are going to have a problem. They're definitely going to have to change around their whole defensive scheme to make sure that he is not effective. Because honestly, when he's in the game, Patrick Mahomes gets to chill out anyway. I don't know, no matter how he's feeling. So I'm going to say the Chiefs, but Jerry, my guy, I wouldn't be mad if the Bills won this game. I would not be mad at all. I would actually be very happy for the Bills organization. I'd be very happy for the Bills fans. I wouldn't be so happy for all the tables that are being broken. But or maybe doctors and physicians who may have to deal with the consequences of, that. But I'm gonna say the Chiefs, and I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a close game. My bold prediction actually is it's gonna be within 3. Okay.
I'm gonna take the Bills, and I like the
Let's
over.
go.
Bills Mafia. You know what? I think that Patrick Mahomes' toe injury or foot injury, I think that's going to play a factor in the game more than what the concussion was last week. Let's see. What we got here? Jerry says it's Bills Mafia. Jermaine Jordan.
And he's laughing, so I'm assuming that he is not on the same page as you, Jerry.
Well, here's a common thing that's happened in the last few weeks. Like, I want the Bills to win, and I always pick against them. And I picked against them today. So maybe that's a trend.
We'll see. But yeah, I'm rolling with the Bills.
Let's go.
All right.
I was just really pumped.
All right, let's go to our bold prediction.
They went to 4 freaking Super Bowls and never won one of them. It's crazy.
All right, let's hit on the bold predictions presented by Thrive Fantasy. Make sure you use promo code EastWest when you sign up, and you'll receive an instant deposit match up to $50 on your first deposit of at least $20. Download the Thrive Fantasy app from the App Store, Google Play Store, or by visiting the website thrivefantasy.com. All right, let's hear some bold predictions. Let's start with Isaac.
I think Kansas City wins by putting together a game-winning drive to score a touchdown with less than 2 minutes left in the game.
That's a good bold.
Thank you.
Jerry.
How do I go up after that, man? Jeez.
Right?
I have to follow up after that. I was going to say, the Buccaneers defense comes away with 4 turnovers, crucial turnovers, which leads them to a win.
How many of those are picks?
I would say at least 3 picks, man.
Wow.
Walter.
That's a really bold prediction there.
Super.
Well, that pretty much counters what I was about to say. I was actually about to say, and still going to say it, there will be 0 turnovers in that Green Bay-Tampa game, and the game will be decided in overtime, 24-21 Green Bay.
Wow, that's a good prediction. That
is a good bold. I'm kind of in the middle of Jerry and Walt, and I'm on the opposite side on Jerry's. I'm going to say that there is a pick. And I'm going to say Brady throws a pick. And we'll see how the rest of that goes. But yeah, my bold prediction is that Brady throws a pick. And then even for the Chiefs and the Bills, like I said, I think the game is going to be between 3. And it is going to come down to the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. Isaac eloquently said it, but I'm with you, Isaac.
My bold prediction is the Bills beat the Chiefs last minute drive down, and they scored a touchdown to win the game. So that's my bold prediction.
We do not want to miss today's games. Remember that, guys. Keyword.
All right, now let's go to our lock to win, presented by Lambs of God Clothing. Isaac, who's your lock to win today?
Aaron Rodgers improves to 2-3 in NFC Championship games by advancing to his 2nd Super Bowl by taking down Tampa Bay.
Jerry.
So real quick, before we get into the bold prediction, I just want to say this. It's kind of beautiful what we're seeing, and I think it's kind of like a passing of the torch, right? I mean, I'm not saying that Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are already going to retire, but they are at the back end of their career. But at the same token, on the AFC, now we got 2 potentially, superstar quarterbacks for the next decade. So, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, somebody has to write a book about this. So it's a passing of the torch. But let me go to get back on track. Give me Bills Mafia as a lock to win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Sorry, Josh Allen gets that monkey off his back and shows everybody that he's a top quarterback in the NFL.
Walter.
My lock to win today is Vegas. No one wins today except
They always
Vegas.
win. They always win.
It's difficult, man. I think either one of these games could potentially go either way. You know, I could see Buffalo going into Kansas City and stunning them. I could also see Tampa going into Green Bay in today's weather and pulling one out. But I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
I knew it.
Green Bay. Something about that Chiefs Bills game feels kind of funny. I think if an upset is gonna happen, it'll happen in that game before it happens in the Tampa Bay Green Bay game. So I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sonia.
You know, Jerry. You know, get it off your chest. It's okay.
No.
It's
I just
okay.
think. I mean, for me, when I looked at the lineup, I was like, well, it's easy to pick the Green Bay Packers, right? It's easy to pick the Chiefs, right? Because they've been there before. So I'm just saying it's kind of like a real conservative pick. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's not.
It is. It's very conservative.
No, it's not.
Conservative.
Who should it be then?
It should be
Who should the lock be?
The Bills and the Bucs.
Bills and Bucks.
According to Jerry.
Bills and Bucks. Bills and Bucks. They're the same thing.
Yeah, Bills Mafia. Bills Mafia. You better send me some gear or something, man.
You gotta hook this man
Right,
up.
all this hype that Jerry has right now.
Send him some beer, some tables, send him all that good stuff.
And we'll record it, and I promise you, it will be all over.
A sponsorship too, you know.
Yeah. All right, Sonia, who's your lock to win?
My lock, I'm not incredibly certain on picking this Bills Chiefs game. I'm gonna lock in the Packers, and hopefully I get to have a good night's sleep in doing so.
Yeah, I don't think you are, because my lock is Bucks over the Packers.
We'll see.
So Fidel,
I can send you a blanket or something, Fidel. You know, if it goes left on your end.
Oh yeah, I got you.
So Fidel and I are in the same boat here.
Yep.
All right.
I'm going with the Bills Mafia, and I'm going with the Buccaneers.
If something happens, you know, that this doesn't happen and we go MIA, don't worry about it. We're just kind of like, you know, we're just
MIA.
Oh no, I won't be on. I won't be missing in action. Trust me. You'll see me.
Are you talking about pulling a Kendall? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yo, come on, hey Kendall, if you're watching, look, man.
We'll call it a Kendall break.
Yeah, a Kendall break. Hey, that's a perfect name for it.
I'm sorry. Much love, brother.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts before we end today's show?
What a season.
Man, we made it.
One more thing that this the drop out there about the Lions situation. So it was made aware last night that the entire team, they made sure everyone knew. Stafford let the team and the organization know early January.
Mm-hmm.
So every candidate that they brought in for GM and head coach were all made aware that Stafford would not be there next season.
Wow.
So that could play a lot into who they eventually wound up hiring for GM and for coach also.
Do you think that they're trying to get like lightning in a bottle, kind of like that Mike Vrabel effect with Dan Campbell?
They could be reaching, and like I've told everyone, this whole situation with inexperienced GM, inexperienced head coach, you have an experienced offensive coordinator, but you have an inexperienced defense coordinator, and then you're getting rid of a veteran quarterback. Things are either going to go extremely well, or this whole situation could turn out to be potentially embarrassing, and we could be right back here 3 years from now having the same exact discussion.
But I mean, what is there to lose? I mean, you guys got depleted completely by the previous regimes, you know?
And the one before that, yeah.
Yeah.
It is, but no one really wants to keep. Well, no one really wants to keep rebuilding every 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, theoretically, if you have to rebuild every 8 or 9, that means pretty much you have a solid coach in place, you have solid, consistent quarterback play, so you're not forced to rebuild every 3 years. But we shouldn't be back here. But like I said, you know, if no one cares about Dan Campbell's behavior if he goes out and goes 12-4. You know what we'll see next offseason? There'll be GM saying, I need a Dan Campbell in my locker room. So it's funny, man. But
man, don't even get Walter started. He'll go off on that.
Hey man, shout out to Lamar Wallace, always interacting with us on the show.
Yeah,
Thank you.
much love, man.
We appreciate you. We
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you.
Hey, real quick, I just got an alert from Bleacher Report that says that regardless of who the next head coach is for the Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson still wants out.
Even if they bring Eric Bieniemy.
Even if it's Eric Bieniemy, he wants
Hey.
out of Houston.
People
can't-
really
you
The
can't
NFL
blame
is
the
becoming
guy.
the NBA.
Man.
The NFL is becoming the NBA now.
Yeah, it is.
Well, really, it's interesting to see Deshaun Watson's situation because it wasn't. I don't know if people know the whole story and the fact that like it wasn't that Deshaun Watson is just trying to insert himself into making decisions and being part of that conversation. He was literally asked to do so. So when you do that and you find out these things, I mean, naturally things happen. We know you find out things through social media and stuff like that. But this Texans organization has continually blindsided him with information, blindsided him with changes. And these are not little itty bitty changes. Like taking away your number one receiver is not an itty bitty change. So, and they offered him all this money, kind of like now it kind of feels like, all right, to keep you put and we'll do whatever changes we want to make. But at the end of the day, you can't keep doing that. And Deshaun Watson is a very talented quarterback who deserves to be with a team that's going to support him because he's given it his all to the team as such. I agree with Michael. The owner of the Texans is kind of sus. He likes to do what he wants to do instead of what is necessary for the team and for the success of the team, which is really weird. We understand that in the politics of football. It's weird how how GMs and owners still do that. However, this situation is a little more broken than fixable right now. There's a lot of changes that need to be happening in the Texans office and leadership in order for Deshaun Watson to even think about feeling okay and like he can trust this organization again.
I mean, what is he going to get you? I mean, he's going to get you a first round pick that you don't have. Like, makes no freaking sense, right? I'm just saying, logistically, like for the Texans, I mean, what is a good deal for Deshaun Watson?
SK, yeah, I know. Yeah, he wants Watson to be a Raider. That's not going to happen. All right, yeah, no. Hey, again, unless Deshaun Watson can play linebacker and defensive back, then maybe, right? I mean, but I don't think he can.
Listen, Fidel, you guys got a quarterback over there. You're not going to win with either. So why not ship him out?
Hey, I mean, if the defense was better, they would have won a lot more games. I'll tell you that much. But that's a different topic for a different day. But let's end the show like this. Just give me a team that's going to land Deshaun Watson. Just pick the team. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay, so this is what I think, and I'm not saying this that I don't think this is going to happen, but I could see this happening, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a Bears fan. Ryan Pace, the GM, has been given one more chance, and he needs to address the quarterback situation over there for Chicago. Mm-hmm. I could see him doing something really dumb and offering all these picks to try to save his job and going out and trying to get a Deshaun Watson. Would it work out for the future? Probably not, because he's probably going to give up too much. But, I mean, the man was almost fired, so he needs to do something right now. I would not be surprised if he did something outrageous and try to get Deshaun Watson.
Jerry.
Patriots.
Wow. Walter.
Broncos.
Sunil.
I want to say the Bears.
You can.
I mean, ideally, they would probably want to get him out of the conference, right? So probably.
I mean, yeah, but why?
Washington.
Well,
I don't know about that one.
I'm just saying the way everything's kind of going, like the way.
No, I was reading the Washington comment, but I know one of his higher picks is the Jets. So,
but the thing is, like with Washington, did you see how they cleaned house, especially with people with those kind of character things? You think they want that kind of person?
In terms of what kind of character things, like Deshaun Watson has character issues?
They're gonna see it as a character issue, like him actually like going out there on social media and putting all that stuff on there. Like, it's not a
nah, they're not. That's more the organization's issue.
I'm just saying it doesn't look good. I mean, that scares people away.
I mean, I don't think that's the case for a player of his talent. And I think everyone around the league already knows Deshaun Watson. So
I think a player of his talent, but also how he's handled the situation, he's more so just exerted himself as a leader, in which is a position that the team has given him. again, they've given him this platform to do everything that he's kind of doing now as a leader and to speak up and to stand his ground. So the way that he's done it, which he's done it, I think just based on, like I said, personal preferences, just based on seeing him throughout the media, throughout behind the scenes conversation and interviews, he's been pretty respectful throughout the process. Like he's not pulling a Harden or anything like that. So
I'm just saying, Ron Rivera ain't putting up with anybody's BS.
I don't know.
Ron Rivera's also having talks with TV. So
let's see. I like Deshaun Watson to land New York with the Jets. So that's
You
going
know
to go on a wrap.
one more thing.
Go ahead.
The reason I threw the Broncos out there, for the simple fact, and I've heard lots of stories about them potentially taking a quarterback in the first round. I don't think Elway really wants to start over with another kid. You know, he already has, what's the name?
Drew.
Your favorite quarter. Yes, Drew.
Oh, he's not my favorite. I support MIZ. He's not my favorite, though.
You know, Drew's a super talented kid. And I think we will never know how good Drew Lock could be or could have been if they never fixed that offensive line. And Philip Lindsay can never stay healthy. They can never give him anything consistent. Now, he just said Drew is kind of sus. I don't think Drew is sus. I think Drew's a gunslinger, and Drew's going to be Drew. Drew can be good if you protect him. That's the whole thing. Drew can be good. Drew's got that arm, and Drew can extend the playbook widely if you have him. So I'm not sure if Elway really wants to go with another kid again. He may go with another vet.
That'd be so weird seeing Watson in that uniform, though. I'm not going to lie.
In Mile High?
I hope it doesn't happen. That'll be bad. All right. On that,
that'll be bad for the Ravens.
I was surprised nobody said Miami at all. That's crazy.
Miami's still one of his teams that it's an option, but you really invested a lot into I think let Tua grind it out.
Hey, what do you think Tua's thinking right now? Like, man, like when Ryan Fitzpatrick was healthy, I was benched.
Yeah, people are sleeping. Let Tua beat Tua. Give him a shot.
Is this going to be another Josh Rosen situation?
Could be.
No, right?
Could be.
You think so?
I'm going to say that if Justin Fields blows it away at his pro day, physically the way we expect him to, and the other kid from BYU, Zach Wilson, there's a good chance because everybody remembers what they saw late. So there's a very good chance a team like Miami could say, you know what? This Fields guy looks way better than Tua. And I think Fields and Wilson are both more physically talented than Tua. So there's a very good chance that Miami could say, you know what? We're picking third. We may never be picking this high again. Who do we take at third? Unless Sewell falls, and that's banking on the Jets, taking a quarterback at 2, or someone trading with the Jets up to number 2 to take a quarterback. So unless Sewell falls to 3, what do the Dolphins really do if they're forced to stay there?
And I think we are going to see a trade happen within the 3 top picks. So we'll see. On that note, thank you everyone out there for watching. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys in a couple of weeks. We'll be off next week, but we will be back for Super Bowl Sunday. Have a great day. Enjoy the games.
Bye, guys.